Hi everyone, Stillhead here, and I wanted to take you through a little beat battle submission that I did, and just kind of break it down a little bit for you and show you some techniques that I used, partially because I was kind of proud of the way that I put together the keys, but also because it's stupid. It's so stupid. The sample that we had to use was absolutely ridiculous, and yeah, I think you might get a kick out of it, and it might give you an opportunity to kind of see what's going on. So I'm going to jump. Well, first of all, I'm going to play you the vocal sample, the first thing that we had to work with, so that you get an idea for that. So that is this. So that was what we were given, and the aim was to make something longer than 40 seconds, shorter than 2 minutes, that used that sample. So I'm going to play you now what I came up with, my final beat. Right, let's jump into it. First of all, these chimes, these little this kind of doot 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 all the way through was made of the sample. So first of all, this sound is essentially, if we open that up, pattern here, it is a sampler with a MIDI chord sample here. It's a tiny little bit of the sample, and it is looped with the fade on the in and out so that it sustains this kind of sound. So if I turn my MIDI keyboard on, hopefully this will work. Yeah, there we go. Now without the chord. So yeah, all I've done is added some reverb and a bit of EQ to that as well. So if I take both of those off, then you'll hear it kind of a little bit more raw. Yeah, all I did was chord that up, stick some reverb on, EQ it to fuck. And then you get this lovely kind of organy sound. Way down there, 2 octaves down. And we've got that, and a little bit of a key change there. Well, not a key change, you know, change of the chords. And then I duplicated that, had some higher up stuff happening at the same time. So if you hear them both together. This one, slightly different but arpeggiated. So we've got this flow plugin, which is the Max for Live plugin, and kept the same chord on, more or less the same sample, EQ'd it slightly differently, put the reverb on afterwards. So if I just MIDI sound on that one, MIDI keyboard. With that flow, that triggers with this lovely velocity. You get that, playing the same chords, but arpeggiating it. And actually, in all honesty, I'm not sure that came through on the final render, so anyway. Add to that, standard sub. I use Massive for my sub. I've built a preset for it, but ultimately it's just a square wave, low intensity, high amplification, cut-off filter, bass straight through to the master, dimension expander on that, a little bit of reverb, and some hefty EQ to push the low end. So you just get this really lovely warm bass sound. So there's quite a fast attack on that, so you get a little bit of a click at the start, but it's almost like a bass drum, sort of 808 type thing. And then same vocal sample, sort of pitched down with the glue compressor, just to give it a bit more weight, and that kind of fills out the low end bass. Two basses together, that's the sub and the low end. So yeah, all of that. You get this really nice kind of warm, like low keys, kind of 2-5-6-2 sort of sound. Once I got that going, wanted to build a beat around that. The drums, which are all grouped on a channel with a bit of a parallel compression. Relatively simple pattern. I've got the kick there. I have a bank of kicks. These ones from the Ghost Tech sample pack that I picked up a while ago. I've EQ'd that a little bit. Let's see which one it is. That one. Kick, Ghost Tech SP38. Pretty heavy. There's a lot of low end. I always EQ the very bottom off a kick, because actually it's kind of like a waste of frequencies, and if you want anything down there, it's kind of sub, I guess, for sound systems. And I've already got a sub, so that one's got. It's pretty chunky actually. Sometimes I'll layer kicks up. That one worked on its own. Hats, same deal. I've got a garage hat drum kit that I pull in. Compressed that with sidechain from the kick, so when the kick hits, the hats are slightly dropped in volume. And then a little bit of reverb on those as well, but not a huge amount of dry wet. It just makes them feel like a little bit less crispy, which is what I tend to go for. And then the snare is actually two snare samples. So this is garage claps and snares that I've got. I've got those extra two on the kind of offbeat as well, just for that kind of garagey sort of feel. That little sort of like clap. And then I needed to add some vocals over the top. So of course, back to the source sample, and we look at, I I guess I just kind of chopped this and played about with it, added some reverb, EQ'd the bottom off, and made it kind of wide with the stereo utility. Now, it's not precise, but it's tuned. Some of them are tuned up and down just to kind of fit, and chopped to sit where they are. And then for some of the vocal bits, I actually added some harmonizing stuff as well. You've got that pitched up stuff. Just to add a little bit more to the vocals, so it's not just playing the vocal out straight, you know. Garwa sort of sound. Yeah. I don't know why I threw that in. It just seemed like a good one to put in. And then Master Garwa pitched up. Yeah. Lots of silliness with the vocals there. Again, more. This was this a reversed sample? If I actually unsoloed the track. Yeah, so this is from the start, and actually this is just the very top end. So if I bring that back down, because I just had the top end, you just get that kind of almost like noise with the little reverse, and it's almost like a reverse cymbal with some reverb on there. Always with the reverb. Always. And that was enough to kind of bring the drop in, I suppose. And then we've got this constant, which is actually more or less the same thing, looped, consolidated the clip, EQ'd it right up to the top, popped some reverb on, compressed it, sidechained against the kick, so you get that kind of throb, for want of a better word. Probably almost not even hear that, to be honest with you. It's pretty subtle. Let's pump the volume a little bit so you can hear that. Yeah, there's very little going on there, but it's just a bit of texture to add to the overall beat. Then we've got Tambourine. I got lazy with the Tambourine. It's just a Tambourine sample, just a little loop that I had. Again, sidechained against the kick to let that punch through the track. And then we've got just a few little extra bits. There's the kind of the whole garagey two-step thing towards the end, which is just some layered samples. I kind of went with the same sort of thing to echo the vocal sample that was already in there. That kind of, this vocal thing here. Kind of just wanted to echo that with the beat battle sample. Bit of swing on there as well, as is required, which gave us this little bit. And then everybody's favourite, Blackout Crew. I don't know why I put this in, but I was enjoying dropping into this first 4 beats of the bar, the first part of the bar where we had this kind of like trap beat. And actually, I liked having that something different in there, and I thought, do you know what you want to do with that? Right?
You know what you want to do with that, right? You want to put a banging donk on it.
Stupid, really, but kind of fun. A lot of fun to do. And then I just stuck the Hasik bit on the end. And ultimately that is it. But the actual beat and the kind of well, I've called them chimes, but the kind of initial kind of chords. Plan is I'm going to make an actual track out of that, like a slightly more serious track. And anyone who's watched this will know that it's made from that really weird pink trombone website sample, but ultimately it should sound nice and tasty for those who don't know. Right, that is it. Thanks for listening. I hope this has been in some way useful. And if anybody wants me to elaborate on any of these techniques or anything that I've done, it does seem relatively simple now that I've explained it all. But I mean, the big thing is that using the sampler and getting that kind of that nice repeating kind of sound, which isn't working because I've not yet. There we go. Anyone wants to like rip off that chord, by all means. +7, +15, +22, +26. It's a deep one. Right, I'll leave you with that. Thanks very much, and speak to you soon.